Now the mount of Richard Patrick. I formed the opinion when he hit the front quite a long way out at Kempton that he might be best if he just could be held onto a little bit longer. I'm wondering whether a strongly run race and being delivered a little bit later might bring out a lot better in him. Defi Blur is a very interesting horse as well, number 9. Last time we saw him he wasn't at his best, but he was a good second. There's not much between him and Get a Reason, who also runs here for Willie Mullins when they met before, and you would think that he would be able to improve on that. He can be a little bit scruffy at his jumps sometimes. Number 8 is the next horse we'll look at, and that is Still de Garde. I've already mentioned him in passing. He's got that form with Not That Fouissé. Will he be able to see out the 2.5 miles? That'll be the question for him. There is Get a Reason, number 5. I've also mentioned him in passing, and this horse is still unexposed. He's making his handicap debut here. The hood is off, and Liam Gilligan is on board for Willie Mullins. Number 11, Daybreak Boy, is a little bit on his toes. He runs for Henry de Bromhead. Donald McKerney on board, and he's making his handicap debut from what a decent looking mark, I'd have thought. I'm trying to find Alistair Picton, but I can't see him, number 6. Let's find some of the others then, shall we? Number 7, Cool Anley, is an interesting runner. He's been running in graded company. A little bit disappointing, perhaps, last time when beaten, but he's making his handicap debut here, and this depth of race might be more to his liking than some of the races that he's been facing so far this season. Finally, let's end on Alistair Picton. He's just here, just coming round here. Number 6, Alistair Picton, representing Gordon Elliott. This horse looking for a 3-timer. He's been a big noise for this race for quite a while now, and he's certainly progressing at the right time. And this yard, of course, has won this race the last twice, also in these colours blow by blow last time. And we have the same jockey on board, Dona Myler.
Well, as we look at the betting for the Martin Pipe Conditional Jockeys Handicap hurdle, I can tell you Gotardo did get up to win that 5.20 at Chelmsford, getting up late under Sophie Smith for Ed Dunlop. Here, Dallas Day Picton is 7-2. Early doors 5-1. Get a Reason being back, 10s from 14s. Cartwright 11s. It is 12-1. Pim, Defi Blur 14s, along with Champagne Court 16s, and bigger the rest.
Nico de Boinville has been crowned champion jockey here at Cheltenham in 2019. That is an achievement you can be very proud of, with 3 wins.
Thank you. Yeah, no, we're over the moon. You know, you don't come into weeks like this, you know, thinking that you've got any sort of a chance, but you know you've got good rides, but you know how hard it is to convert them here. So no, I'm delighted. And 2 of them in Grade 1s as well, in the Triumph, and of course importantly with L2 and the Queen Mother that the champion chose. Yeah, exactly. You have to remember I'm riding for a genius of a trainer. Because we have been pushed this year. You know, we haven't had an easy build up with the snow and the flu jabs and all that kind of thing. So it has been a difficult prep for all these horses. I was saying earlier, I think one of the standout training forces was Santini, because we've had so many problems with him, and for him to come and run like he did, you know, we're really looking forward to next year. But no, it's been a great week. He's a future Gold Cup horse, isn't he? Potentially, yeah. Yeah, because I would have thought that the more galloping track, a little bit more stamina and smoother preparation, ideal, wouldn't it be? Exactly. I was saying beforehand, if the RSA was run on the new course, you'd be over the moon. Yeah, absolutely. Reflections on Might Bite. For so much of the race, he looked like his old self. You said what you were going to do, and he really did seem to be enjoying himself early on. Yeah, he prefers it that way. And he's just cut out, you know, with 2 furlongs to run. We'll probably drop him back to 2.5, maybe find some good ground, and go from there, I think. Might we see him in the Ryanair next season? Potentially. You know, we were leaning towards it this year. There was a question mark over it, but you know, it was worth having another go at the Gold Cup. It was good that you looked after him. At the moment you realised that he'd finished, he'd done his race, you looked after him, which we'd expect of you. Exactly. You know, these horses, you've got to look after them and save them for other days. There's no point, if you're well beat, there's no point carrying on. Absolutely. Well spoken by a stable jockey for a man who works for such an excellent team. Congratulations on your achievement this week. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Nico de Boinville, who, without massive fanfare, is just assembling an incredibly enviable CV of big races and winners here, there and everywhere. Of course he can't ride in this because our race that brings the curtain down on the Cheltenham Festival now is the Martin Pipe Conditional Jockey's Handicap Hurdle. It has been rather an anonymous week so far for Jigginstown. Save Tiger Roll's brilliant victory in the cross-country, but you fancy that in Dallas they picked on. They got a pretty good chance here of rounding off proceedings with success. Donna Myler takes the ride for Gordon Elliott, who is looking for his 4th win of the week, but he cannot be the leading trainer. Willie Mullins is 4 winners, 5 seconds, 4 thirds. Nicky Henderson 4 winners, 4 seconds, 1 third, and that means that Nicky Henderson has to win this race with Pim in order to take that, or Steele de Garde in order to take that. And if Willie Mullins, if he doesn't, then Willie Mullins wins.
I think you summed that up beautifully, and now they're going to be off, Nick.
So you've got no time to hear from either of you, but we have got plenty of time to enjoy the race in its entirety, and then we'll review it for you. This is the 28th and final race of Cheltenham 2019, the Martin Pipe Handicap Hurdle. Here we go.
Coming in quite quickly here. Acapella Bourgeois was very edgy down at the start. He can't let them go because they were coming in at quite a tempo there. Acapella Bourgeois just wouldn't settle for Ricky Doyle, and he was dragging 1 or 2 of the others along with him. So it's going to be a standing start. Cartwright angling out wide to try and get a clear view. Mount Muse is playing up behind the other runners. He was very edgy coming out onto the course. Big Time Dancer also just looking for a little bit of room. And now Get a Reason turns towards the inside. Acapella Bourgeois turning once again, turns a pirouette and turns another one. Mount Muse still causing a few issues, being led in. Flag raised again. Acapella Bourgeois turns, straightens, and he's turned again. Get a Reason turns once more, and the flags go down. Pim takes a turn, 2/3 of the outside of the course. Cartwright right on the outside takes a turn. Mount Muse still just a little bit edgy and a little detached behind the others. Acapella Bourgeois must be getting dizzy, he's done so many pirouettes. Stars just asking him just to back a little off the tape. Rider of Discordantly just trying to get his head back off the tape towards the wide outside. Mount Muse takes another turn. Burrows Park turns just to the inner of him. Acapella Bourgeois is now side on, and Ricky Doyle's going to have to turn him again. Horse has been off the track a long time, and at the moment he's not really cooperating. Now they straighten up. Flags raised. And they're off. Acapella Bourgeois just jinked, and Mount Muse is refusing to jump off, and Mount Muse has planted himself and he's not with the field. Cartwright is driven away from the starting point. It didn't pick up the bit in the very early stages as it crossed over the first flight. Very short run to the second, and Get a Reason is the leader to Acapella Bourgeois as they cross over flight number 2. So just 23 of them left, with Mount Muse refusing to jump off at the start of the Martin Pipe Conditional Jockey's Handicap Hurdle, and it's Acapella Bourgeois who leads. Get a Reason towards the inside in second, and then on the outside Mr. Antolini is in third. In fourth position as they race down the hill is Daybreak Boy, and then quite keen is Cap Gary. Towards the inside rail the mare If You Say Run, with around the outside Burrows Park. They're then being followed by Deafy Blur as they make the run into the home straight for the first time. Not That Fuise is next in the field, racing alongside Sarki's City, and on the inside Big Time Dancer as they cross over flight number 3. Pim is in midfield, racing just in advance of Discordantly, and then Dallas de Picton, who's travelled well through the early part and already beginning to check off 1 or 2 rivals, making a little bit of ground. Then on the outside is Casatal. Casatal is then racing alongside Champagne Court as they race on long run now on the flat towards flight number 4. Out the back of the field is Le Musée. Also towards the rear of the field is Dr. Dex, and so 2 towards the inside. As they go towards flight number 4 is Garreau de Juillet. Cartwright still towards the rear, and so too is Early Doors. So they race on towards the flight, which will be the last in a circuit's time, and it is Acapella Bourgeois who leads Get a Reason in second. Mr. Antolini towards the outside over in third, and all 23 are safely over. So they have a circuit to go in the Martin Pipe, and it is still out in front. Acapella Bourgeois to Get a Reason racing in second. Mr. Antolini on the outside is in third. In fourth is Dallas de Picton, who's now gone forward. Then towards the inside is Cap Gary. Next then around the outside is Burrows Park, who's been followed towards the inside by If You Say Run. Then Not That Fuisse, who's racing just alongside Daybreak Boy. After Daybreak Boy is Defi Bleu, and then towards the outside Casa Tall trying to get closer. Pim in midfield, so too towards the inside is Style de Garde as they cross over flight number 5, at which the back marker over that flight was Garreau de Juillet. Still towards the rear of the field is Dr. Dex as they race on towards the halfway point of the Martin Pipe, and as they go to it, still the leader Acapella Bourgeois landing flat-footed. Get a Reason jumped it in second, overtaken in the air by Cap Gary to his inside, and towards his outside by Mr. Antolini. As they go over the third of the flights taken down the back, they're all safely over. Now struggling at the back of the field, Saki City drops out the back. Le Musée is getting reminders, also struggling out the back of the field. Cartwright has never travelled that well and is also been hustled up, and so too is Garreau de Juillet. So they're making the turn on towards the third from home. Acapella Bourgeois with Get a Reason on the inside. Cap Gary is in third, followed then by Dallas de Picton, who travels as well as anything in fourth position, jumps into third over that flight. Coming under a ride now is Daybreak Boy, but now picking up past him is Early Doors in that manner's hoops of gold and green, and now they're making the turn right at the top of the hill, and they're all bunching up in behind Acapella Bourgeois. Get a Reason in second. Mr. Antolini is in third. Then the Jigginstown pair of Defi Bleu and Dallas de Picton. Around the outside is Casa Tall, followed by Early Doors. Towards the inside, Style de Garde is getting closer. They're then being followed by Not That Fuisse, followed by Discordantly. Then towards the inside, trying to pick up is Coulanley. After Coulanley, also picking up right on the inside is Dr. Dex from a long, long way back. Pim and Cartwright are making a move towards the wide outside. Widest of all now is Garreau de Juillet as they go over the second last of the Martin Pipe, and there was a wall of 4 or 5, and on the inside Style de Garde and Ned Curtis taken on now by Get a Reason. Still there Mr. Antolini, and between them is Dallas de Picton, and on his outside is Defi Bleu. They're racing inside the final quarter mile, and it's Dallas de Picton in the centre who could be galloping all over them. Cartwright though gets a seam up against the near side rail. Early Doors is right there as well. Still there is Defi Bleu. These four go on. At this point he says go on Dallas de Picton. Dallas de Picton and Early Doors. These two now press on to Defi Bleu. The final flight in the Martin Pipe. Early Doors over on the far side. A faller at the final flight. Not That Fuisse. They've got a half furlong to go. Early Doors and John Joe O'Neill Jr. going clear by a length and a half, and it is Early Doors who wins the Martin Pipe. Early Doors wins for John Joe O'Neill Jr. In second was Dallas de Picton. In third came Defi Bleu, and then staying on in fourth, Champagne Court.
Well, the name John Joe O'Neill was already part of Cheltenham Festival folklore, but you can add John Joe O'Neill Jr. to that, because he has taken the finale here for Joseph O'Brien. A second winner of the week for him, and on what's been an unimaginably difficult day for Joseph O'Brien, he takes the finale with Early Doors. JP McManus, his 5th success of the Cheltenham Festival, and this will give him enormous pleasure, because he will know more than anyone the pain that Sir Eric's demise will have caused the stable of Joseph O'Brien, and he has been such a long-standing ally of the O'Neill family that to give Joseph and John Joe O'Neill Jr. success will mean an awful lot to him. Early Doors has defied top weight here, well prepared for this race, given a layaway of 77 days. Faller late was Not That Fuisse. William Marshall is up on his feet. The horse is still being attended to as we speak. But John Joe O'Neill Jr. it is that has ridden to festival success here, this son of Soldier of Fortune. And it looked all over as though Dallas de Picton was the winner of this race coming to the last, but Early Doors had other ideas, Jonathan.
Yeah, cruised into it, the runner-up, and he held on, and when he let him down, the response wasn't enough, and the momentum was with Early Doors, third in this last year, and two better now.
And they've just kept him so that his handicap mark didn't exceed the 145 ceiling for this.
Yeah, clearly prepared for this again, and yeah, you're quite right. All your comments about some sort of at least compensation for events earlier in the afternoon.
So 2 winners on the week for Joseph O'Brien, and you feel it's only a matter of time before his name is atop that trainers leaderboard here at a Cheltenham festival, whenever it might be. That's on the supposition that he continues with the national hunt game as the flat horses become more dominant. But in Early Doors, he's got a horse that he's prepared extremely cleverly for this.
Exactly, Nick, and that was the moment where I thought it might just all go pear-shaped, because he was getting a nice bit of daylight going to 2 out, but they sandwiched him there. All of a sudden he's on the back foot, whereas Dallas de Picton is still swinging along on the bridle. But full credit to young John Joe. This horse, he's more of a grinder than a traveller. He'd been on and off the bridle throughout the race as well. I even noticed him just giving them a slap down the neck as they went out on the second circuit, just to keep his mind on the job. And Donna Myler's done everything right on Dallas de Picton. He hasn't asked to press the button until he absolutely had to, but the winners just found that bit more under pressure.
And Jigginstown second and third here in a race that they've done extremely well in the past. The third was Defi Bleu, Connor Brassel, whose father Martin trained City Island to win the Neptune earlier in the week. He's had a good ride off Defi Bleu. And Champagne Court it is that has run on for fourth. Rex Dingle riding for Jeremy Scott.
Yeah, handicap debut for that one as well, and a good winner at Lingfield early in the season. Rex Dingle, one of the British up-and-coming conditionals.
Running on to fourth place was Saki City for Philip Kirby and Tom Dowson. But it is Early Doors who has provided JP McManus with a fifth success of Festival Week. He struck on the opening day, of course, in the champion hurdle, not with his reigning champion Bouberdare, but with Espoir d'Allen. There is Joseph O'Brien, and Lydia is with him.
2 winners in the week here at Cheltenham for Joseph O'Brien. Early Doors, a second one, but I know it's been a really difficult day for you. I'm so sorry about what happened with Sir Eric in the first race, but you have got this success here. What do you make of it?
Yeah, thanks, Lydia. Listen, obviously we're devastated, and everyone at home and the owners and everyone are. It's one of those things. Obviously, it was well documented. He had a stone bruise during the week, and he seemed perfect the last couple of days. We done a full set of X-rays 2 days ago just to make sure there was nothing else going on, and they were perfectly clean. And Mark just said that he jumped the hurdle awkwardly and landed extremely awkwardly, and then obviously he got injured. So it's one of those things. But I suppose when you see what happened in New Zealand, whatever last night, it kind of brings it into perspective a little bit, and we'll move on.
Absolutely. And Early Doors, he made a handicap debut in this race last year, ran really well in third. Is he just a stronger, better horse this time?
Yeah, I think so. He's been running graded company all year, so he came back to handicaps today. And John gave him a great ride, and delighted for him. And yeah, listen, we're very happy.
There's lots of history made this week, and a little bit of history. Another John Joe O'Neill on the roll honour here at Cheltenham, and of course you, the son of Aidan O'Brien, you know what that must feel for him.
Yeah, no, listen, John Joe's a fantastic rider, and a couple of weeks ago I was talking to Frank, and he was saying, would you rather run the Martin Pipe or the Coral Cup? And he said we could get John Joe for the Martin Pipe, and he said let's have a go at that then, and he gave him a fantastic ride.
What do you like about him as a rider?
Well, he's very patient. Horses jump very well for him, and he's very strong. So.
And what do you assess? How do you assess he rode that race?
Perfectly. He obviously he didn't get the break that we were looking for, but he went to Plan B, gave the horse a perfect ride, jumped well for him, and he got there in loads of time.
He's a bright young talent, isn't he?
Yeah, you can say that again.
And it's been a fantastic